My name is Jessica Rahman and I love frozen yogurt. I'm 29 years old and I live in Oakland, California. I am born and raised in California, but my family is from San Diego, and originally we're from Bangladesh, which is a little country right to the east of India, and that's been a huge influence in my identity, being a hyphenated American. I had a really nice, normal, middle-class upbringing, but I also grew up hearing stories about my parents, and particularly my dad, actually living through a civil war, running away from bullets and diving into a rice paddy. I was raised with a lot of love, but also between two worlds. I went to college thinking I'd become a doctor, but undiagnosed ADD definitely didn't help that goal become a reality. And I was also going to school in the same town that I'd grown up in, and I wanted to get far, far away, so I ended up going to grad school in Sweden. And that was an amazing time. And I made some forever friends and learned the language, moved back to LA, lived there for another 3 years, worked in a hospital, but realized I didn't want to go into medicine or academia, and so I transitioned my career to software engineering, and that's what I've been doing for the last 3 years, and it seems like I do things 3 years at a time, so maybe now's the time to transition into doing art more full-time. My influences are Japanese art and anime. I was a big reader. Like, I would read the encyclopedia for fun because I was a grade A nerd, but I would also read fairy tales and folk tales and fantasy, and that was a big influence. A lot of those fairy tales would come from Germany or Russia, and like the forest, like the Black Forest. Beginning of this year, I made a resolution to do 50 hikes, so it ended up being almost one hike a week, and that has really done a lot for my practice because I'm just constantly seeing new sights and animals and incorporating that into my artwork, because that feeling of newness and learning new things, which keeps us, I think, young, just like playing, learning new things all the time. It crosses over super well to art, and leads to me bursting with ideas for little animals I can include, or interesting plants I found, or the shape of this weird flower, and then also, pulling, how do I combine those landscapes and synthesize them with all the stories from my childhood, with like jungles and rice paddies and tigers and giant ants. There's this corny quote I heard that says, love and art are the same thing. It's seeing yourself in other people. For me, art is, it's being creative. It's carving time out for that. I do a lot of painting and drawing, and I always have. If you really know me inside my soul, you know my art. Art is representation. Art really is about seeing yourself around you, and I didn't grow up seeing many brown girl heroes. My goals as an artist are to be able to work much more of my time, I don't know if that's full-time or what, as a creative person. And that might mean creating a lot of paintings or doing freelance illustrations for big newspapers and magazines, but also for minority-owned businesses. I just created a painting and raised $8,000 with it, with all of that money going to a fundraiser against COVID-19 in India. And for me, that was the first time I got to use my art to actually make the world a better place. And I want to make paintings, and I want to illustrate children's books, and just make art all the time. Have that be all I do. My art is
burp. Just a summary of that myriad of influences. What else did you say? It sounded so good.